Welcome back, humble traders. Today I'll be doing a technical breakdown on Baidu, ticker symbol BIDU. If you're new to the channel, remember to take a second to give the video a like and subscribe for more charting and price manipulations. In return, I'll tell you guys a joke. Do you hear a story about Saturday and Sunday? It got a good start, but quite a weekend. Okay, jokes aside, do note that I'm just humble chartist and I do not provide any buy or sell calls. Instead, I focus on the potential traps laid out by the market makers. Always remember the stock market is never obvious. It is designed to fool most of the people most of the time. So let's take a look at Baidu. Recently, actually announced its results, but apparently it had a good gap up, but it was not sustainable. So actually, I was watching this particular stock on the day it actually gap up. And I was looking for it to close this gap here. You can see that there was these two gaps here, this gap here, and also this was the gap at about 164 levels. So I was watching it to close these levels. And there was a very strong movement during the first hour, but after that, it actually gave up its gains. So just need to note that on the day of good results, and if the gap up is not sustainable, it means that it's highly likely that it's going to be a sell on news. So when institutional investors dump their stocks on the day of the results after having have a strong gap up, it's an indication that the stock is very weak, and it's likely that it's the best opportunity to sell. So it simply shows that many retail investors actually took this gap up, and then they will currently, perhaps if they're new investors, perhaps you'll be stuck at about 160 level. But if you have already been averaging down from the peak of Baidu, say for instance about $200, $300, I don't want to think about it. But if let's say your average is about maybe 180, 200, you try to take this breakout, right? Then you're likely to be stuck at higher prices. What you want to see is a green candle. So if there's a good results day and then we see a green candle and it closes right near the top, that is an indication that buyers are in control. But you can see that these two candles here, very bearish looking. Very bearish looking. So even though this is a green candle, it's actually a mixture of a lot of selling here. So maybe about half to about 3/4 of this candle could be sellers. So you can see that after that, the stock went down. And because of market sentiment and the Chinese stocks took a very big hit, this was not sustainable. So where exactly are my next supports for Baidu? In fact, if you don't ask me, the supports that I'm looking at will be the nearest support, the short-term supports I'll be looking at is 115. 115 is a psychological support because it's a round number 5, 10. So 115 is a psychological support. But I'm looking at about 108, 109 levels because 110 is a psychological support for round number. And retail investors who actually took the trade at about 160, they may cut their losses just about 108, 109 levels. So if we may potentially see a short-term rebound for it. Definitely, since we are still on a downtrend, we are below the clouds. There wouldn't be a trend reversal so soon. And it's likely that only have short-term rebounds. Short-term rebounds are opportunities to actually escape and clear your positions. But in the long run, I'm actually looking at about these levels, about 97 to 98, because $100 is definitely will be a very critical psychological support, and many people will be most likely putting their stop losses just below 100 in the event that this stock were to collapse. So if 97 to 98 you see some panic selling, you see some stock hunting, then potentially this may be the bottom for Baidu in the short run. And hopefully Chinese stock do recover and the sentiments do change. And hopefully that will ensure that Baidu buyers come back, and definitely we need more volume. So if we look at the MACD, on the weekly MACD, you can see that it's already cutting down. So that's not really a healthy sign. Let's take a look at the daily MACD. Daily MACD tells us the same thing. You can see that we actually cut down already. So if you were actually invested in this particular stock and you see signs of this, the blue line cut the orange line from above, then it's time to exit. So you exit here, and then you just don't buy back until the blue line start to cut above the orange line. So that being said, Baidu unexpectedly sell on news on the results day, very weak. Chinese stocks are very weak in general. So we can only hope for the best and hope for the sentiments change and buyers come back. So if there's any changes, I'll give you guys an update. Thanks for stopping by, and don't forget to subscribe as you keep the uptrend of the channel intact. Leave in the comment section below on your thoughts on this particular stock, or if you have any other stock TA requests. Till we meet again, appreciate the manipulation.